We're talking about disruption. If it hasn't come already, when will it? The Consumer Goods Council of South Africa held its annual summit yesterday under the theme Embracing the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And some South African companies are already having discussions preparing for disruption to business models that this revolution represents. But others are simply not ready. To discuss, I'm joined by Patricia Pillay from the Consumer Goods Council of South Africa. Thank you for being with us. So you represent the big retailers. What does disruption and the fourth industrial revolution mean to them right now?
Well, I think that it's very encouraging to say we had over 500 delegates at our conference, and that will tell you the appetite for the conversation, which is important to note. People are ready for the conversation. A lot of them are ahead of the game. We actually will be surprised. A lot of our local retailers are already doing online shopping, and so it's working. They're looking at international best practices as well. There were some interesting discussions yesterday. One of the examples, and you need to adapt, whether it's robotics, 3D printing, whether it's your wireless, you need to look at, you have to adapt to the change. So one of the examples, like I said, is your 3D printing. There was a young lady abroad who actually in her garage came up with printing of dresses. She ended up on the catwalk, and Lady Gaga is wearing one of the outfits.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So this is the reality, is that if you don't adapt, you're going to reach demise as a company.
And this has always been big in retail. I mean, that model of Walmart that kind of got the supply chain right, that's technology. It has been all along.
Yeah, I think, but we do need to, like I said, look at best practice. So if you look at Alibaba, for example, I mean, they have almost 576 million users and subscribers. Now, they don't have a warehouse. They don't have any stock on hand. There's very little risk. They even outsource to the informal sectors in terms of their delivery. So we need to re-look at this, and we need to re-look at our models.
Are the bricks and mortar retailers looking at those sort of online operations and saying, how can we survive?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think we must just, there'll always be a place for mortar. I think that
people always like to go shopping.
Absolutely, and to touch and feel.
Or is that true? I mean, will that endure?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's happening is people now are viewing online, and then they go into store and then fetch their product, or actually then feel the product and decide whether that's what they want. So there's lots of visual experience stores that's happening. So you see it online, you can go in store, you can't necessarily buy at the store, but at least experience the product. And it's all about customer experience. I mean, customers these days, they want quick. They want to press a button, they want their goods delivered. And that's what we need to remember, though, as South Africans, is we need to adjust, and we need to manage your customer expectations, because they can't expect to have it like we do in London, where you click on your button, on your way home, get there in an hour, and the goods are delivered.
Yeah, well, that's a good example, because you do hear from overseas, I mean, even with clothes shopping, you can get some shoes, try them on, and send them back. In your own home, and that is done for you. Those shoes are delivered and taken back. I don't think we're there yet as South Africa. So is that what we're looking towards?
Well, a lot of people are actually shopping now online internationally. So as the faith and the trust in online payment systems increases, South Africans are more and more using the online shopping, even if it's international. And that's the joy of this fourth industrial revolution. It allows you to do business anywhere at any time. And if you look at, for example, Amazon users, they actually say there's about 60% of them who say that Amazon understands their needs and their unique needs far better than your real bricks and mortar retailers do. Yeah. So that's something we need to adapt to, is to understanding our consumer better, using the customer data better.
So this is all there online, kind of gathering intelligence from your consumers. Is there anything else you can see on the horizon, or that retailers are talking about?
Well, look, there's lots of, like I said, we're watching what's happening even across the other industries. So we're not only looking at our industry. Very quick example, case study we learned about yesterday was shipping vessels. So what's happening is now you can have a shipping vessel out at sea. You don't need one person on board, because you can actually run the entire vessel from an operation in a total different country.
Incredible.
So it's incredible, because what happens is it allows the people people to spend time with their families. They don't need to be out for 6 months, you know, on the vessel. It's less risk of injury. Pirates, you know, I mean, that are out there, that's a risk these days. So this is where it's heading, and we need to watch not only our industry, but what's happening in other industries as well.
All right, very interesting. Thank you so much for your time tonight. That was Patricia Pillay from the Consumer Goods Council of South Africa.